You are listening to Perfect English with Danny. Improve your English every day. Never stop learning. Welcome to a new episode from Perfect English with Danny. This is all about business, and we're going to talk today about business people and business leaders. Now, what do we call these people? What are the words we should use to call these people? And we hear the word entrepreneur a lot, especially on the news. What is that supposed to mean? We hear the word startups, we hear the word founder, we hear the words magnates, moguls, tycoons. What does that mean? We're going to find out in this episode from Perfect English with Danny. So, as I said, it is about business, and we will start talking about business people and entrepreneurs. Now, a businessman, businesswoman, or business person is someone who works in their own business or as a manager in an organization. Now, notice that the plural of business person is business people. A business person and business people can also be spelled as two words. It could be just joined as one, or it could be business person, business people. An entrepreneur is a little bit different. An entrepreneur is essentially a business person, but it is a little bit different. When we say a person is an entrepreneur, that means this person, he or she, is someone who starts or founds or establishes their own company. Now, when you found a company, that means you start the company from scratch, from nothing. Establish has a similar meaning. Now, pay attention here, found. When we say found a company, it is very easy to make the mistake of confusing this word with the past simple of find. Now, find is something else. We use find as the present form of find, obviously, and the past form of find is found. Like when I say, I found my keys, but that is something else. Found here is the present form. So we say found, founds, he founded, we add ed to it. Like when we say he founded his company 10 years ago. So don't confuse the verb found with the verb find. Anyway, going back to the word entrepreneur we're talking about. An entrepreneur, we said, is a person who starts or founds or establishes their own company. Someone who starts a company is its founder. So again, we go to the found verb. We say the founder of the company, the person who started the company, who founded the company, or who established the company. Now, an entrepreneur may found a series of companies or startups. Now, the startups are usually small companies with smaller capitals and usually new and sometimes revolutionary ideas. Entrepreneurs usually found startups or series of companies. Not all startups work in the end, but that is the job of the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is this person who is risk-taking, fearless, who always ventures into new waters where people have never ventured before, or at least they try to venture into new fields, new areas, and they have a startup just like that, very fast. That's why we call this person an entrepreneur. We have the adjective from entrepreneur, which is entrepreneurial, and it is used in a positive way to describe the risk-taking people who do this. Some entrepreneurs leave the companies they found, perhaps going on to found more companies, and others may stay to develop and grow their businesses. So that was about business people and entrepreneurs. How about leaders and leadership? Now, a large company, mainly owned by one person or family, is called a business empire. Successful business people, especially heads of large organizations, are business leaders, or in journalistic terms, they call them captains of industry. Now, there's a lot of discussion about whether these people are born with leadership skills or whether they develop it over time. I think that leadership is actually both. It is developed over time, but some people just have it in them. They are more prepared to become leaders, but it can be learned to a certain extent, of course. It's just like having this talent in music, but that doesn't mean you don't have to practice and learn, even if you are as talented as Mozart. So some people might be gifted leaders or born leaders, but they still need to learn and practice their leadership to become great leaders. Anyway, now we will move to talk about magnates, moguls, and tycoons. People in charge of big business empires may be referred to, especially by journalists, as magnates, moguls, or tycoons. And these words often occur in combinations, like when we say media, press, shipping, oil, magnate. We usually use magnate with media, press, shipping, and oil. We use mogul with media and shipping as well, but we also use it with movie mogul. And we use tycoon with property and software. We say property tycoon and software tycoon. Like when we're talking about Bill Gates, for example, a software tycoon. And remember, whether you want to use magnate, mogul, or tycoon, you're talking about people who are in charge of big business empires and people who are very successful, or actually their businesses are very successful. So that was all I have to say about business people and business leaders. We talked about business people and entrepreneurs. We learned about the meaning of found versus find, of course. We talked about leaders and leadership and what we call them, the captains of industry. And finally, we talked about magnates, moguls, and tycoons. And that will be all for Business English today from Perfect English with Danny. This is your host, Danny, saying thank you very much for listening to another episode. I'll see you again soon.